Technology. It is something that our lives now depend on. We went from these big boxy computers to all having smartphones in our pockets in only a matter of years. In this day and age, we are all connected. New Zealand, in 2016, had over 89% of the population online. And with new generations being introduced to technology at a much earlier stage, that number is only going to reach 100% in a matter of years. Which is why we as a country need to take major advantage of technology. A major field is education. Education allows us to learn, to understand, to apply, and to think. The problem is, education in a standard school learning environment in New Zealand just isn't for everyone. Not all of us are consistently capable of reading and writing, and must learn and think in different ways. One of many examples is dyslexia, which affects over 70,000 New Zealand school children. Studies show that it is common to use our left side of the brain to process words, whereas people with dyslexia use the pictorial side, the right side, which means it's harder to interpret language, but it means they're stronger in creative areas. Sure, there is special tutoring, but that costs money and is only available in certain areas. A study in 2008 found that between 30 and 50% of serious offenders in New Zealand school prisons suffer from dyslexia. These kids are being set up to fail in our current education system, disadvantaging them later in life. So we need a way to allow everyone to learn in a New Zealand classroom, regardless of learning differences, regardless of wealth, and regardless of location. Coming from a small town called Waihi, there was little to cater to those with dyslexia, and I had two friends who had to travel an hour or more where they would receive special tuition. That's a hassle, and I know they'll prefer to be in a classroom with everyone else. So let's make that happen. Augmented reality, a technological advancement that is changing the way we see, learn, interact, and understand with life. Not to be confused with virtual reality, where that completely immerses a user inside a digital environment. AR allows users to overlay virtual objects onto the real world without being eliminated from reality. It works by using cameras and sensors that track the motion of the user, creating points that can be used as references to overlay virtual objects. So when you move around, the object moves too, making it feel like it is actually there. This may sound like something out of science fiction, but believe it or not, you would have seen it before. For example, Pokemon Go. This hit 2016 game allowed the players to use their phones to catch Pokemon in the real world. The camera motion tracks the movement of the user and creates points to overlay the virtual Pokemon. Another, Snapchat. Cool face filters that track the motion of the face and overlays virtual filters. In this case, a dog. You can also interact with it, but it's pretty obvious that this can be used for things other than face filters. The great thing about AR is that it can be adapted to fit whatever needs to be taught. Anyone can take control of their own learning process, obtain information, and use it to experience scenarios that would otherwise be extremely difficult, costly, or impossible to occur in reality. It could also help capture the attention and have more active participation by students. A study from someone called Edgar Dale showed that after 2 weeks, the human brain remembers only 10% of what it reads, 20% of what it hears, but 90% of what it sees. Our visual interpretation is extremely valuable, so we should put it to good use. But what technology is required for augmented reality? Well, products such as the Microsoft HoloLens are joining the market quickly. And although they look like big, bulky objects now, it's like the telephone. Give it time, and they'll become as small as contact lenses. But not only glasses can be used. Like I mentioned before, cell phones and tablets. Given that we all have a smartphone in our pocket, and that most schools have already invested in tablets, this is a much more cost-effective option. But how can augmented reality benefit learning? The simple answer is in more ways than you can imagine. You can see anything. You can make anything. You can interact with things that you would have never thought were possible, and it will be right in front of your eyes. It gives everyone the opportunity to learn in their own way. For example, learning about the brain and biology. Instead of seeing pictures and videos, reading text, why not pan around it? Take a closer look. Interact with it with you in control. Or, if tech is your cup of tea, you can learn to fix and make things with live instructions. The Kiwi saying still sticks, DIY, it's in our DNA. In terms of economic benefits, using AR in education results in better learning outcomes, which creates a more skilled workforce, resulting in higher productivity and therefore a higher GDP in New Zealand. Equally, this would bring significant social benefits in allowing equal access to education, regardless of learning difficulties, wealth, or location. This would help combat the increasing inequality in New Zealand, so that students with dyslexia will have the same opportunities as students without dyslexia. So that students from Decile 1 schools will have the same opportunity as students from Decile 10 schools. So that students in Waihi will have the same opportunity as students in Auckland. So augmented reality, catering to everyone in their own way and helping New Zealand move forward with the digital era. Thank you.